on the West Coast. Good afternoon on the East Coast. I am Angela Nirvana, your hostess with the mostest at the Friends of ADOS TV channel, and I am super excited to be with you family today. Playing in the background is my brother, the incomparable Robert Sanae, S-A-N-A-E. He is extraordinary, as we all are as an ADOS people. Would you agree, family? How was your Christmas? I hope it was wonderful. I hope it was the best Christmas ever. So excited to have you guys on the live. File on in. Remember to post your comments and your questions on the side. Good morning, Trey Lincoln. I see you. Welcome. And let me know what ADOS chapter you herald from when you come into the space, okay? I love to give you a shout out for putting in this work, for picking up the bricks, for slaying out here in these streets for reparations and a black agenda this election cycle. Because what, family? Voting is an exchange. We are done being the mules of the Democratic Party. We are here. It is a new day, and the ADOS movement is on the move and making things happen, family. I love you for your hard work, for every sit-in, for every meeting, for every time you go up on those steps and you protest to protect our rights. I'm so proud of you, ADOS. I want you to be proud of yourselves. You're doing this. You're moving this. You are the reason why reparations is on the world stage right now. I don't care who came before. Thank you for sowing seeds. But we are the fruit of the movement, ADOS. We are the fruit. Don't let these naysayers out here, these talking heads, these agents of chaos to confuse you about the work you've done, ADOS, in the trenches. We've been doing this for years with the incomparable Yvette Carnell from Breaking Brown and Antonio Moore from Tone Talks. You know what time it is. So don't let the agents of chaos make you think that what you've done is minor. We are 30 chapters strong and growing throughout this country. Be proud of that, ADOS, because you put in work. You get off of work and then you go to work some more for your people. Why? Because we are about that collective upliftment, not self-individualism. Do it for yourself, where folks get to luxuriate in their $2 million homes, while 80% of ADOS is on Skid Row in Los Angeles freezing right now. You know the story, family. It's all over the country. That's who we fight for, the people. We are the Harriet Tubmans of our day, family. So forget what you heard. Tune out the chaos and pick up a brick if you're serious about the reparations and a black agenda this election cycle. If there are no reparations, we are to show up and vote down. Who understands down ballot? Put it in the chat. You understand that it don't matter who the president is, that Congress is making decisions. Because as we've seen with President Barack Obama, all Trump came in there and did was undo all of his executive orders. We need reparations and legislations on the books that cannot be changed by the single stroke of a pen. Am I right, family? I'm absolutely right about that. So we say show up and vote down because who owes us the reparations, family? The Democratic Party. We've been their mules for 60 years, and now we are in the fight of our lives to prevent from becoming the permanent underclass that our ancestors built with their lives. In this country, our blood, our bones are buried here. Know your history and stop expecting me to teach it to you in a Facebook feed. That's not my job. Do the work. Pick up a book. Pick up a brick. And with that said, I'm going to get off that tirade. I just wanted ADOS, the movement, to understand I see you, I love you, and I'm grateful to you for everything you do. Thank you. We've got the incomparable Joelle Jones on our show today. I am here in Dayton, Ohio. And what you don't know is that this is my diaper buddy. We grew up family, and she's been political for as long as I've known her. She has been fighting for ADOS all her life. She has taught me many things politically. And she is running for the Ohio State Representative seat. Now, you understand, like I told you prior, Congress needs to change if we're going to get these reparations. We need more ADOS in the space so that we can have an ADOS agenda, so that we can form an ADOS caucus. That is why we need representatives like Joelle Jones in Congress. We had Tamara Johnson Shealy on the show in the past, but this is the reason why we need brave, bold people like Joelle to run for office. This is no easy feat, family.
Absolutely not.
Could you, Joelle, share with us a little bit about how you got involved in politics?
Well, first of all, I just want to say good morning to everybody in the ADOS community, everybody watching and supporting my friend, my love, my sister, Angela Nirvana, who does this out of passion and commitment for our community. And I am forever grateful because it takes a lot of courage to do what she does. I started in the political arena, and I don't like to say I'm a politician. I'm a public servant who understands the power of politics. And that started way before I came into this world. That started with my grandmother, Helen Horton, who came up from Villa Rica, Georgia, with a 5th grade education and hope and a dream to come to the North to do what was best for her family, and bought 18 acres of land in the country rural side of Dayton, Ohio, only to have to fight General Motors and other corporations who wanted to put, and who was ultimately successful, of putting a mountain of trash behind her home, what we now call a landfill.
Wow.
So working with her, meeting with her, stomping with her, writing letters with her, advocating with her, marching with her, crying with her, to think of the investment that her and my grandfather made. And now her view is going to be a mountain of trash. So from that experience, I saw the power of politics. I saw the power of policy. And I also understood the power of passion. And then sometimes when we lose, we don't really lose, we learn. And so I have been on a mission that is not always pretty, to do what's right for everybody, but especially the community in which I reside in. So that's it in a nutshell.
Wow, family, I just learned something new. I didn't know how deep and how rich your history and your legacy was here in Dayton. This is powerful. Okay, so now you did run for
School board.
And can you just, because this is not easy, family, I want Joelle to give it to us 100 about what she, as an ADOS woman, has to endure in this fight to be our representative. Could you share with us a little bit about the chicanery that goes on, and what can people throughout the country expect when they decide to take this on? What should they be prepared for?
I tell you this, and you guys already know this. The transfer of power does not come without a fight. And that's exactly what we have here. So we can say that, you know, politics is a humanitarian deed and that we're all public servants. But what we truly are is fighting for power, the right to belong, the right to make decisions. And as a woman, and then a Black woman in Ohio, a state that I love, the state that says that we're the heart of it all, but it has truly become the home of Trump. It is not an easy feat because, first of all, the powers that be, the parties that say that they represent you, has to see your worth. And often that, you think that will be something that will come easy, but it doesn't. I'm not a candidate who just decide one day I want to run for office. I'm a candidate who's done the work. I've done the trench work. I've worked with the veterans. I've worked in the atmosphere of drug and alcohol. I've done community development. My background is a planner in urban development. I'm a Lean Six Sigma Black Belt. I understand processes and management. I've put together and worked for the military and was responsible for 5 states where I put together programs and services for our military veterans and their families. So this is not something I just come in blindly one day, Angela, and say, oh, I'm going to run for office, even though people do that. I do that. I ran for office. I put myself out there because there's a need. My community is suffering. And what's really interesting, I just said at a Kwanzaa meeting last night, is that the youth in our community, millennials, who are 26, 27 years of age and down, they believe that West Dayton, the way that it looks today, is the reality of West Dayton. But you and I both know.
Oh, yes.
But this was the mecca of Black excellence.
Yes.
And it has been purposely, intentionally transferred. My community looks like a war zone. And I say that unapologetically. And some of you, I'm not sure if we're Facebook friends, but I want to ask you guys to, if you get an opportunity, I want you to tune in to the Frontline special Left Behind. In the Left Behind special, they featured me and my organization, Neighborhood Politics, where we talked about our community being left behind out of economic development. Ohio was one of the states that was truly hit in 2008 by the housing crisis. But what has happened is Ohio has bounced back. There are lots of jobs. Unemployment is low, and that's what it looks like on the surface. But when you peel back the layers of the onion, people working 3 and 4 jobs, people with master's degrees are making $10 an hour. And one of the beautiful things about Dayton, Ohio used to be, regardless if we didn't have all the entertainment attractions that other cities had, but one of the things you could do here, you could buy a house and still go on vacation and not worry about being house poor. That is rapidly changing. When I live in a city, and I live downtown with no river, with no beautiful mountains, and you have condos going for $525,000.
Did you hear that, family?
Did you hear me? With a waiting list. With a waiting list. But your peripheral community looks like it just came out of a scene of Afghanistan. Beirut. And I say
Dayton, Ohio, family.
Ohio. I did a TEDx talk, and one of the things that I was quoted about was that, how do we teach our children about community? How do we teach our children about family when they don't have no neighbors? You can go on a street, not just here in Dayton, this is not unique, to a lot of urban communities. You can go on any urban street here, and you might see 24 houses, left and right side, and one of those houses is occupied. The rest of those houses are burnt down, blighted, roofs hanging down, trees growing inside of them. You can look in one house and see the other side of the street. And we have thousands of those. Where do our children live? What have we taught them? This is savage living. So I have been politically involved as a public servant because trying to, with other people, make a difference here in Dayton, Ohio. But ADOS community, it's not easy.
It's not easy, and it speaks to my point that I made earlier about the boomer leaders, the people that came prior that want to disparage the ADOS movement. You guys have been putting in work for over 50 years, and why is it? Nobody can answer me this. Why are we in the fight of our lives to prevent from becoming the permanent underclass in the country our ancestors built with their lives?
Tell the truth.
Y'all want to brag and y'all want to dog out the ADOS movement, but not one of you has yet to answer why the Dr. Claude Andersons and the like. I'm done with the respectability politics. Let's put it out there. Y'all want to talk about powernomics. How has powernomics helped us to be on top and be equal to our oppressors? If someone would like to kindly answer me that in the chat, I'm happy to read the response towards the latter part of the show. But this is what we're up against, not just in Dayton, Ohio, my hometown where I was born and raised. Joelle is absolutely right. When we grew up, we had GM jobs paying $25, $30 an hour. I made $20 an hour when I was home from college working on the line. Those jobs are gone. And so therefore, it doesn't matter if unemployment is low. If it takes 3 gig jobs,
there you go,
just to survive and pay your rent or your mortgage. $500,000 homes in downtown Dayton, Ohio, is gentrification and annihilation and an extinction of our people. Because we, on gig jobs, cannot afford to go in there and pay $500,000 for a condo.
Exactly.
There are no set asides for us.
Mm-mm.
We're competing, okay, with white money, with immigrant money coming up in this piece. Could you share, because I saw that front line, could you share with us about the Chinese and the Russian invasion here in Dayton, Ohio, that Frontline spoke on?
So, due to unfair taxation and representation, what we do is we sell off our community to foreign investors with tax exemptions and all type of investments. So here in Dayton, we had GM, and GM manufacturing has gone in a lot of states. So as community leaders rush to fix that gaping hole to give citizens a place to work again, they went overseas and they attracted the Chinese community here. And that's fine because this is America. It's a melting pot. Anybody could come and live. But what had happened is they open up these companies and pay people $10 an hour, encourage people not to unionize. And what happened is people have been struggling for so long here and other places that people just happy to have a job.
I know it.
And so our mayor has made Dayton a welcome community. And so that has attracted lots of Chinese and people from the Asian community, Asian countries. In addition to that, it has attracted, we have a lot of Turkish Russians here who come already with money. A lot of them go into trucking. And so, this is America, right? But here's the deal with that. They build their own communities. They hire their own friends. And they don't respect, and this is the most dangerous part. It's okay to come to America and make your money. I don't fight nobody's hustle. But the problem is that Black people are still trying to get white people to understand the pain and suffering that has happened to us and to our ancestors, and that continues to oppress us today. Now we got immigrants who have no regard for America or the Black experience and what it takes to make this country, and do not see us as investors and builders of this country. So when they come into the neighborhood, they have no respect for us. They have no respect for Black women. You can tell what the things that they sell in the stores. They take over your old Family Dollars and your drugstores, and the first thing they do is put up malt liquor signs and cell phone things and T-shirts with all kind of derivatives of names and things of that nature that we don't want our kids to see. But where do we have to shop? When you don't have public transit that is friendly to your community, when you live in a community that's a food desert. And I hate to use the word food desert. I have a friend who entitled that we don't have food deserts. There's plenty of grocery stores. What we have is retail redlining, where corporations make a decision that this community is not worth it. And we will not build, we will not invest. And if we're there, we take our dollars back. And so here in West Dayton, the hospitals are leaving.
Come on.
The grocery stores are leaving. And this is not unique to Dayton. This is happening all over the corporation. So my intent as a state representative, as a candidate, is to not to just talk about what has happened in the past, but to help prepare my community for what's coming in the future. We know that manufacturing, in the sense that we know it as, is dying. So what's on the horizon? What's next? So workforce development is a big part of helping to revive a community. But here's the issue. We don't know we're stuck. We keep re-electing the same old people with the same names, who make the same promises, who do absolutely nothing. And then what happens to Black women when we run? We become the enemy.
Ain't that deep?
We become the enemy.
That's by design.
Yes. We have all the education, we have all experience, but we're good enough to work in the kitchen, but we ain't good enough to run the front house.
Come on.
And when we stop asking permission, as I did, I'm not going to ask anybody's permission to lead my community. I'm not going to ask anybody's permission to work in my community. I've been doing that all my life.
Right.
Why do I need and let me tell you something. This is what I had to do, Angela. I had to ask myself, because I was about to leave the Democratic Party. I had to ask myself, am I a Democrat because of the Montgomery County Democratic Party, or am I a Democrat because I believe in the tenets of the Democratic Party,
There's a difference.
And I had to make that decision. And in the two-party system that we have presently in America, because that's what we have, I don't care what you call it. You could be independent, Green Party, whatever you want to call it. There's a two-party system in America. It's Democrat or Republican. Period. Now, maybe in the next 10 or 15 years, when our kids are older, there may be something else on the horizon that would be soluble, that would be credible, where people can truly get elected. And so I had to ask myself, and I stayed. I don't agree with anything that Trump is doing. I don't agree with the Republican Party. The Republican Party has tried for 3 years to woo me to that side. I don't believe in their tenets. I believe in the party that has not been kind to me. That doesn't mean I'm dedicated to them. And so I had to make a decision. Do I continue to work for my community as a Democrat without the endorsement and the support of the Democratic Party? And that's what I did. So everybody, people have done that all over the country. And so now we're the enemy. We're the angry Black woman. We're, we don't play fair. We don't play by the rules. When they ain't been playing by the rules for 100 years. Now, all of a sudden, we want to talk about rules, ADOS community. So you guys know what we're up against. Not just here in Dayton, Ohio, all across this country. And one of the things I said to some people last night at Kwanzaa, we have to make a decision as to what we want. And this is something we can agree on as African Americans in this country. That ADOS, the reparations, is something not that we want, but that is owed to us.
It's
and
a
what
debt.
we can't do, we can't allow people to make us feel guilty. For being paid for the work that our ancestors have done to build this nation.
To build the nation. And not only that, family, understand that reparations is not just for slavery and Jim Crow.
Absolutely.
It is for systemic, ongoing, accrued, systemic racism, oppression, and disadvantage. It's not like any of this stuff has gone away, family. It's just taken on different forms. Like private prison industrial complex.
Absolutely.
Like the military industrial complex. We're still enslaved. If you've got to work 2 and 3 jobs and can't raise your family, isn't that not another form of slavery?
Absolutely.
We are owed a debt so that we can be American. We're owed that debt. We should be able to be living high off the hog. There's no way I put a Black man in office for 2 terms and he crank out more millionaires and tell me no to my reparations. Make it make sense. We are owed this debt. There's no need to feel guilty, and you guys need to sound the alarm. If you want to know how we are on the brink of becoming extinct, just look around you. Who are the beggars? My own family has had to be my reparations. When I couldn't get work akin to the 6-figure income that I once knew with Wells Fargo, we were all replaced by Hispanics. Just come out to what used to be the Black neighborhoods and see how the Hispanics have been placed in a position to own the homes in our communities. You guys have got, I know ADOS is on code, but I'm talking about newcomers who are new to the show, who don't understand why are we fighting so hard for this repair. And let me help you with something else. I've not heard anyone introduce a way to close the egregious racial wealth gap outside the reparations that we are owed. I mean, if somebody has an idea or a suggestion, okay, out in Los Angeles, I tell this all the time. We got Black immigrants, Nigerian, worth $75,000 liquid, and ADOS Los Angeles are worth $200 liquid. The roof is not on fire, family. We individually are on fire.
Tell the truth.
Yeah. And you've got agents of chaos on in these social media streets doing everything they can to disparage the ADOS movement And they've not offered any solutions. They've not picked up not one brick. I've not seen them at the Maxine Waters meetings, the Karen Bass's meetings. And yes, sometimes there's infighting with the ADOS movement as we grow. We've got one conference under our belt. One conference. And folks want to make us responsible for the failure in the ADOS community. Make it make sense. Stop listening to these agents of chaos and pick up a brick. Don't talk to me. I don't care about who's doing who said what. This is nonsense. And all distractions are equal, family. We've got work to do. There's redlining across all industries where we're coming from. You understand me? And the Black immigrants that they put in this country are here to mask our failure. Do you know that many of them descend from slave traders? Do you know that they're trained and educated in London? Do you know that they got the capital to be over here and take advantage of our entitlements that were there to quasi make us better post-slavery? They're coming up on our entitlements and they come over here already with means. Do you think this racist country is going to let Black immigrants in that don't have money? Are you for real right now? What are they doing to the Haitian refugees? Turning them away. What are they doing to the poor Mexicans at the border? They at the border. The folks that are here are being made white right before your eyes because white is not a color. White is a class. White is money. Did you want to speak to that, JoJo?
You locked that up. That is deep.
They're being made white.
White is not a color. White is a class.
Know that.
That is deep.
Know that, family. Stop being duped. We are fighting white systemic racism in this country that our ancestors built with their lives. That's the fight. It shouldn't be each other.
We don't believe it. We don't believe this country belongs to us.
Yeah, well.
You know, I tell my sons, this is your country. We don't have no other country. I don't care where you stem from. This is a country. This is where your grandfather fought. He carried the American flag. I am as much an American as anyone in this country.
You're even more American.
Tell you the truth.
We were here before America was America.
Yeah.
Next to the Native Indians, we it. In the millions, in free chattel slavery.
Yeah.
So I know that a lot of the people in my audience are fully aware because we study. We study Black politics under Yvette Carnell and Antonia Moore. And for those of you who are asking, what are they doing for the movement? They are the founders of the movement because they bought the education. Yvette Carnell said long ago that it's up to us. We are the answer that we're seeking when we talk about solutions.
Tell the truth.
You are the solution. She is the solution. I am the solution. We can't look to them to be the solution for a whole people. So we form chapters all throughout the country to help them with this work. So with that said, let's talk about ways that we can encourage you in this. How do we keep you inspired? How do we keep you going? Because it is hard. You guys don't even understand all that Joelle and Tamara Johnson Shealy have to sacrifice. We need more than money. We need support. How do we, as the ADOS movement, support you? You've got a strong chapter out here in Mark Stevenson out of Columbus. Is there anything we can do to help you stay encouraged, stay inspired, stay
I'm glad you asked that. You know, it is, and we could talk about money and that it does take money to run a campaign in America today. But let me just share an experience with you guys. I'm a widow with two sons. Husband died about, it's been 11 years now. And so I'm out here in the political community. This is what I would appeal to every last one of you. When you see sisters out here running for office who are single and by themselves, don't let them go alone. You hear me? Escort that black woman to candidates night. Escort her when she makes her speeches. Escort her along the campaign trail. And let me tell you, I didn't understand this. And there was a moment in my campaign the last time, and even in this, as I go about, the things that people say, black and white, say to me, they would never say to me if I had a man by my side. And I want you guys to understand that. It's already a very deep commitment and courageous charge to go out and run for office, period.
Yes, it is.
But to go at it alone, I'm not talking about a campaign staff, but just the mere sight of a black man standing by my side speaks volumes, silently, subliminally. It says that she's protected. It says that she's covered. It says that she's supported. And so I would appeal to everybody in the ADOS community, when you have African American women in your community and they're running, make sure they're covered. Make sure they have a male escort. I've had my car, somebody took, I don't know, knives or whatever, and literally just scraped the paint off my car.
What?
I've had men call and make all kind of threats to my family. I've had men say to me, white men, one event, to walk out of here, take your black ASS about our spot. I had, just 2 weeks ago, a gang of people decide that they was going to boo me after I said at an event that I am definitely still going to run, even though I'm not going to receive the endorsement. Boo me. And that's okay. I don't have a problem with being booed. The issue is this. We need to have people who are behind us, supporting us, people who will make people think twice. Think twice before they say what they've said to me. And I can share many other stories. Before they scratch my car, before someone tells me to take my black. Now I ain't scared, because I'm not sister that'll get in the ring with you. And even
But she shouldn't have to.
I shouldn't have to. So I didn't understand the value of having a man with me as I go to these events. And so I saw some other African American women that I know who are running, and saw their husbands, and I saw how they were treated and how they were welcomed. So I would just encourage all of you. Yes, money is what it takes to run an election in America, but we need support from our black men. We need you to stand beside us, and I might just be being silent. We need you to accompany us, because this is a dangerous world. And when I say, and you guys know, that the transfer of power does not come easy. When we're going and campaigning and saying what we need for our communities, people don't want to give that up.
No, they don't.
They don't want to give it up. I don't care if they got a D behind their name. Some of the most racist people in the world hide behind the D.
Come on.
And so when we're out there, again, transversing through these spaces, we need escorts. We need people to accompany us. And that's just a silent individual who may just standing there, subliminally say, I got her back.
Okay.
And that is so important. And I'm going to be talking about that later on at a forum, a public forum on Black women, and as we traverse the political landscape alone, how dangerous that is, and how we have to find, and I didn't know this at first, we have to find those men or that man that will support us and accompany us, Angela.
Okay, so how Do the men in Dayton, Ohio and surrounding areas reach out to you to be a part of that force?
Oh, they can always go to my Facebook page. My campaign page goes live next week, but I am on Facebook at Joel L. Jones. That's J-O accent mark E-L Jones. Um,
And they
and
can instant messenger
they can
you and
instant message
let
me.
you know that they're interested in being a
Yes.
part of your support and
Yes, we
security.
need exactly.
Oh,
We need
absolutely. We
security,
need protection. We need
and
our men.
especially in the age of Trumpism, you guys would
Ooh.
not believe how many people you would think should be protected and be on your side who detest the very moment that you walk into a room. Uh,
You know, I was having dinner with friends, and they were sharing with me about the racism here in Dayton, Ohio. And they're in our peer group during the busing when the
yes,
schools were integrated, how they had to fight white people just to go to school.
yes, yes, yes,
That's for our era. I
yes.
never knew this, family, because I was pretty sheltered. We had a yellow school bus that picked us up and dropped us off at Eastmont across to the white section of town. And my mom and my grandma were our chauffeurs wherever we went. So I really never have been called out of my name.
Oh, I have.
I never had to fight white people here in Dayton.
I have.
Like, these were things I only heard of just recently.
Yeah. And here in Dayton, Ohio, back in the early 70s, I think it was, they killed a federal judge here. One of the judges here killed him outright.
When was this?
In the early 70s. Late 60s, early 70s. He was the one who put the order for busing here in Dayton, Ohio. Shot him dead. Right here in Dayton, Ohio. There's let me say this. There are some good things happening in Dayton. Dayton is not all bad.
Let's talk about some of that.
Yes.
Take a break, family,
Dayton
right?
is not this horrible place, but what's happening, there's too much hopelessness in the city. Not just here, just around
The country.
the country.
Folks are tired.
But one of the things that's really interesting is the amount of Caucasians who are catching hell too.
And this, can we touch on that?
In the Dayton,
why
Ohio,
are they supporting Trump and they're catching hell?
you know, for
Is
the
that
life
crazy
of me,
to me? Like,
for the life of
he's
me,
broken all of his promises to them.
for the
Why
life
do
of
they
me,
continue to support
some of them
him?
are in worse shape than we ever can even imagine.
Come on, the opioid crisis and
One of the top 10 in the United States, Dayton, Ohio.
yeah,
But there's some good things happening. Adolphus Armstrong said the 2020 census will show we are closer to the zero net worth. And that is frightening. And one of the things, sidebar for a second, we're talking about reparations. Make sure your community is counted.
make sure they're counted, family,
Make
because
sure your community is counted.
because they guess what? And let me to her point, out in California. Now I put in an application to be a census taker, okay, to manage it, to be a supervisor. They have yet to interview me, and yet just a few weeks ago, guess who was at my door, my secure door? A Hispanic there to take the census. And because I live in a gated building, I could not allow her in. I couldn't press the buzzer on the intercom to let her in through my cell phone. That's how we let people in and out the building. Do you know they haven't been back? Do you know I'm the only ADOS that owns in that building? And that there's a ADOS sister there with her daughter that rent in that building? So do you see? First of all, you got to understand that we're not going to be counted the ones on Skid Row, not the way we should be, because we don't have an address for folks to go to. And down on LA Skid Row, there's all manner of disease and rats that have taken over down there. So I doubt it very seriously, if you're not hiring ADOS to go into those trenches to get those numbers, that those ADOS will even be counted. Secondly, you got a lot of us that are afraid because we feel it's going to harm us to be counted. Let me help you understand, for those of you that don't know, that census is a determining factor as to where the resources go.
Absolutely.
And white folks are afraid of extinction.
Yep.
So they're making Hispanics white.
Yep.
And Hispanics want inclusion.
Yeah.
They want to be as far removed
From
from
us.
the ADOS narrative as they humanly can. They want access to white capital. They want access to white seats in Congress. So they're identifying as white on the census for that reason. So when we are undercounted, as the white numbers are strengthened by Hispanics claiming to be white, where do you think those resources are going?
Yep.
To the white folks.
Yep.
And lastly, to that point, they will not have the category American descendants of slavery. I'm asking you, when they break out blackness on that census like they intend to this year, this time around, because trust, it only comes around every 10 years. I am asking you under other to write in American descendant of slavery. You see, we got to get into position for that reparations, family. This is what that is about. That chess move is about putting us in position, because no one is entitled to that reparations but the American descendants of slavery. I am not opposed to Jamaicans getting repair under CARICOM. All the Caribbean islands where they were enslaved, they've got CARICOM fighting for their repair. All these Africans that are new to this country, they got to take that up with the colonizers that they continue to allow to rob the continent. But reparations is specifically for those who descend from Americans enslaved in this country. Let me be crystal clear. So, family, I need you to write in under other. Okay? Not African American. You see that trick bag. You can be from Africa and from America at the same time. We don't have that luxury. We are American descendants of slavery. Write it in. Your thoughts, Joelle?
Well, I'll tell you what, here in Dayton, Ohio, I'm not sure what the figure is in the LA County, but in the Los Angeles area, but in Dayton, Ohio alone, for every person that is not counted is $18,000. An individual, not a group. So if our community is missing 10,000 people that were not counted at $18,000 a person, you know what that figure is like. And so I believe that the census itself and the federal government, yeah, they want to count everybody, but they have affiliate offices. And one of the things, so with the census, everybody's supposed to count in their own area, so where they live. So you shouldn't have to, I shouldn't have to leave, my part of the community to go to the suburbs to count. I should count the people that I live with. But you got to have a driver's license, and you got to have a car. So I asked some census officials a few weeks ago, what are your alternatives? What parameters have you put in place to ensure that in poor white and poor black communities where people do not have driver's license, a lot of them, and a lot of people do not have cars, who's going to count them? You know what was said to me? Oh, we'll get some people from the other community to count them. And what are we going to do? We ain't going to open our doors.
Not only will we not open the doors, but will they really count us?
Exactly. You guys, this reparation movement is the most important movement we've had since trying to get out of slavery.
Do you understand me? Since emancipation.
Let me tell you something. But this census this year, and you guys, tell everybody, it's only 10 questions. And this year, you can call in your answers. You can do it on the internet, and you can mail it in.
Okay.
10 questions. And find out in your community what that's worth. But in Dayton, Ohio, it is $18,000 per person that our community loses for each person who was not counted. For each person who was homeless. For each person who's not counted because they in between being booked in the jail and sitting in the hallway. We have to make sure that every person, and so that shows our numbers too, guys. And I like what Angela said. ADOS. They ain't expecting that.
They ain't expecting it, and we about to lay it out. We about to turn it out, family.
Jay West.
Spell it out.
Exactly.
Put the acronym so they know who came.
Yeah.
It's the same thing we're doing when you show up and vote down. If these candidates are not offering reparations and a Black agenda, family, we've gotten our direction. We are supposed to fill in ADOS for the president if you have a fill in, or skip it and start voting down ballot. Because guess what, family? We need Democrats in that Congress to get this repair. Don't get it twisted. I'm with Joelle. I believe in the tenets of the Democratic Party. But understand that the racists swing both parties. Do you
Yes,
hear
they
me?
do.
It is not
Yes, they
exclusively
do.
Trump.
No, it's not.
Racism in these politics did not happen with Trump. It will not end with Trump. It was before Trump. And you
Yes.
guys be mindful that we've got black white supremacists protecting
Oh,
Capitol too.
yes.
Let's not get it twisted. All skin folk ain't necessarily kinfolk. Y'all have heard that saying before. So be mindful
Yes.
that we've got people in office that don't have our best interest in heart.
And we got to stop that.
We've got to stop voting based on the skin. That identity politics has got to stop, or it's going to be to our annihilation as a people if we don't wake up and understand what is on your platform, what is on your agenda. And if it isn't me, you don't get my vote. Because guess what, family? All we've got is our vote.
That's it.
We don't have the wealth to pay for our politics.
Yes.
And politics this day and age is paid to play. It has always been that. So you need to use your vote as an exchange. And if not now, when? Stop telling me unseating Trump is your priority when your people are on fire.
Danita said, we don't know we're stuck.
That's the problem. We don't know we're stuck. What time? Oh, we're at 9:49. Let's read some of the comments, Joelle, and see if there's questions. I thank you guys for watching. I thank you guys for supporting the show. You make this show go viral. You hear me, family? I need you sharing it, because this is the way people are getting real news. Real black politics is being done on the social media streets. The revolution is being Twitterized. Okay, CNN ain't talking about this. Joyanne Reed ain't talking about this. Shireen Mitchell ain't. Tariq Nasheed, Professor Black Truth, No Face, Moist Twatkins, they not talking about this. Okay, so from the top, is that we at the top, Joelle?
That is so true.
Oh, family, there was a little blackout. ADOS life is happening around here. I'm over here trying to scroll up. Mama in the background cooking pancakes. Pawpaw's in the front room watching TV. Jabari's downstairs talking loud. We almost done. Y'all hang in there. This is ADOS life. Y'all know I ain't got no studio yet. But you know the studio's coming, family, right? Y'all know I'm not going to always be in the house doing this, okay?
Andrew McClure just made that. I didn't
okay,
think
read
about
his
that.
Comment.
Andrew says also some of our people that are in prison aren't being counted in the communities that they actually come from. That is so true. The areas that the prisons are located benefit from our people. And they what? In a rural white counties. Unless you're talking about your city jails. You're absolutely right.
Come on now. Come on, talk the truth,
I didn't even think
y'all.
about that, Andrew.
Thank you, Andrew, for everybody. Thank you for your comments. I'm going to try this one more again. If we go black, y'all hang in there, okay? We almost there. So Danita says, wait, I don't know what that says. White
equals
money.
White equals money, I think that says.
White equals money. That's what it's about, family. Remember, white is not a color. It's a class. And these class-based policies, what, family? Don't fix race. If they start cutting $1,000 checks, Where is ADOS
Huh.
to add to our 200? We still on the bottom, right,
There
family?
you go.
Don't be tricked. Don't fall for the tricks from these politicians. Okay, so ADOS North says Mexicans shouldn't be here anyway. Well, I don't know about that. I know I'm not a fan of these immigrants coming over here crapping on us without giving us the credit we're due. And guess what else I'm tired of? Them expecting me to cry harder for the kids at the border than I do my black boys and men and black women and girls being murdered by the cops.
Mm.
I can't cry more tears for them, their children, than I'm all cried out for my own.
There you go.
I can't cry harder for them at the border. Illegal trying to get up in here. Now I know that more than likely it's because of America over there meddling in their business while they at the borders, but that's not my monkey. That's not my circus. ADOS, my daughter is ADOS. My family. Those are the crocodile tears I have for my people who are being cut out every which way but loose. Do you hear me? Every which way. We are on the chopping block for replacement by the illegals. And I am sick of the Democratic Party trying to make DACA more a priority while they snub their nose at reparations, a debt that is owed. Okay? So that's what I know. Everybody else should be second to us. We should be equal. Actually, we should have advantage over white folks in this country. All of the wealth that you see around you is because we were the machines. We were the shoes that this country was built on. All of the wealth should be ours. But unlike our greedy oppressors, we are willing to share in the wealth. But what we will not be is on the bottom. That's not working on no front for me. Anyway, Joelle, did you want to speak to that?
I think you said it all.
Okay.
So
So stop talking about natives. We are the damn natives. You are absolutely right about that. We built this ADOS North. We are the Americans. Well, like I said, we were here before America was even formed. We've been here since 1619 that they can record. America was formed when? 1776. Make it make sense. Okay, we are more American than even the Americans. We are the foundation and catalyst for all the Western wealth. You got that right. I just said that. Who said that? Adolphus Armstrong. Thank you. You are absolutely right, my brother. Danita Austin Wilcox says, yes, exactly. Lorene Pryor Trowell gave a power, muscle, and a heart. ADOS North says, what money? We don't have any money. You're exactly right. That's why we're fighting for reparations. Stop it. Absolutely. I'm on your page, ADOS North. Danita says, yes. Showing a unified front is important. Family, we've got to stick together, leave these agents of chaos alone, and unify with the ADOS movement. Find a chapter near you. If you need to inbox me to find one, do so. I can put you in touch with all the leaders that's slaying up in the movement. I know all of them. I'm in their organizer circle. We're doing this work. So join us and get off this messy train, okay? Do they have a new era chapter?
No, we don't have a new era chapter.
I don't know what new era is, but we've got an ADOS chapter here. Inbox me. I can put you in touch with the leaders here. Okay? Iris Blanchard is actually on the Facebook, BLANCHARD, and she is the leader of the ADOS movement in Dayton. Do they have a new era chapter in Dayton? Okay, damn it. Why are you surprised? What show have you been watching? I'm not surprised, dear sister. I'm not surprised by any of it. I'm just stating the facts. People need to pray for y'all too. Oh, I do that at the end of every show. And for those atheists out there who don't want prayer, you guys are free to leave when I go to pray. But I believe in covering our people. Because let me help you with something, family. These white folks ain't just gonna give us reparations. Do you understand it's gonna take an act of God? It took an act of God to emancipate us. It will take an act of God to cut them checks. God is going to have to move through his white children to cut those checks.
You got that right.
So I don't do anything without God. I respect if you're atheist, do you? But I understand why I'm still here. Okay? I myself have done nothing. I'm real clear. Okay, moving on. I won't get on that train because y'all know y'all get upset with me. I talk about God. It gets on my nerves when you have Black people talk about they so shocked by white hate. We're not, well, okay. Oh, that's the part you're talking about. Well, I'm not shocked by white hate. What I was shocked about ADOS North is that my peers, my diaper buddy, had endured race hate growing up. And a couple of my friends who I was breaking bread with over the holiday weekend. I'm shocked about that because that never happened to me directly. I knew of it in theory, but to hear the people that grew up with me having endured this, it's shocking to me, quite frankly, but not white hate. I'm real clear about that. James Arthur taught me that. Knuckles, my stepdaddy, that's who taught me that. He taught me about my Blackness, okay?
And that's how
her dad and my dad was in these streets, power to the people, red, black, and green, waving the flag out front on the yard during Independence Day.
I ain't never went to school on Martin Luther King Day. We were celebrating MLK Day when I was 6 years old.
Okay. Okay. So they didn't have to make it a national holiday. Okay. I wore my natural and dashiki when they started talking this stuff. I was marched off to the office for being radical. Okay. So please, I've never been confused or shocked by white hate. That's why I fight. So what? Let them catch hell.
To show up, lady. Yep. Who do you think is going to show up, lady? I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means. Hey, ADOS North, I think you mad at me for some reason. Yeah, I'm done. Okay,
look
baby.
At Floyd. We gotta.
Hi, gorgeous lady. Hi, Floyd. Thank you. Okay.
We
sleep and wake up. Floyd Brazil says, truth is, we are sleeping while woke.
That is so true.
We are sleepwalking, family. Danita Austin Wilcox says, yes. Andrew McLaren says, also, didn't you read that one?
Yeah.
Okay, are people in prison not being accounted for? Their heads are going to spin. Okay. Check your boy Tone. He talking about giving us baby bond in federal jobs. Wait a minute, Ramses 7. Have you been listening to Tyree and No Face and Moist Watkins? Because there is no way in the world Tone is talking about giving us baby bonds and federal jobs. That is not our conversation. Antonio Moore has always been on reparations and a Black agenda in exchange for our vote. So please, know your history. Go up into YouTube and look up Antonio Moore and Yvette Carnell and look at what we've been talking about. Don't be in the feed clowning. Now you know better than that. We don't do that. Everybody watching, please share. Thank you, Danita. Power to the people. Yes. Rural Georgia is, okay, Adolphus Armstrong, rural Georgia is reaping that benefits of that prison population.
That is so true. That is so true.
Didn't I tell you slavery has just taken on a new form, family? Ain't nothing new under the sun. Ramses 7, why did your boy Tone help put out that BS report? Okay, once again, Ramses, do you want to be fired? Because I love you. Let me help you guys understand something. ADOS, FBA, DOAS, same lineage, different movements and different outcomes. Please, Ramses, don't come up in my feed talking about stuff you know not of. Go somewhere, get some education, and let's speak in context, okay? We're not disparaging the leaders of my movement, all right? Okay, go ahead. You want to read that one?
Oh, he just talking about the same
Andrew
thing.
McLaren, baby bonds are just part of the policy to bridge the racial wealth gap, according to Darity. That was separate from his total reparations plan. Baby bonds is class-based policies.
There you go.
That was introduced by Cory Booker. Yep. That was one of the platforms he was trying to run on. But anybody that's been following the Friends of ADOS TV channel knows that we are not on baby bonds. We are not on class-based policies because, as I already shared on one of my prior shows, only 16% of us have college degrees. That Bernie Sanders trying to wipe out all of this debt for the colleges and free college. Well, the free college could definitely help us, and so could Medicare for all. That definitely helps ADOS. But class-based policies at large don't fix race. When you remove all the debt for students that own the people that have student loan debt, that's another white wealth transfer. If only 16% of us have it, what about the other, what is that, 74%, 84%? 84.
And then they changed the class, and we no longer meet the requirements. We cannot have class-based policies.
No, it doesn't fix race, so stop that.
It doesn't.
Baby bonds could be something we visit after we've received the trillions in repair that we're due. We don't, guess what? With my trillions in repair that I'm due, I can pay off my student loan debt. I can invest in my own business. I don't need for them to come up with more programs that they give with one hand and give away with, they give the program to us with the left hand and give it away with the right hand. I don't want programs. I want my check. Okay. Did you download the whole report? Oh, baby, okay. Ramses, go back and Ramses, I'm done with you. I'm moving past your comments. You don't get no more FaceTime.
Adolphus talked about something. He said people to watch the movie Netflix movie special documentary American Factory, which was done here in Dayton, Ohio, regarding the closing of the GM factory. You guys get an opportunity to definitely tune in to Netflix and watch the American Factory. Also, do not forget to tune in to the Frontline special Left Behind America. That's the one I referred to that talks specifically about Dayton, Ohio, and the situations here.
And Joel is featured on that, and it's powerful because you will be able to recognize your own community in that report. It's
Absolutely.
powerful. Tune in. That's an action plan, family. Thank you, Andrew, for making that distinction. Yes, thank you. That's from Adolphus. Reparations are specifically for ADOS, and Verity outlined what he thought the requirements should be. Absolutely. Ramses, I'm scrolling past you until you start. Ramses, until you go and do some homework, I'm not reading your comments anymore, okay? Adolphus says Dr. Verity has made it clear jobs guarantee. What happened? It just, okay, jobs guarantee, baby bonds, and universal income are not reparations. Okay, exactly. Great broadcast, Angela. Thank you, Jamar Carlisle. Big ups to Joelle Jones. Yes. Wasn't she fire, family? Oh, and once again, for the brothers in the Dayton, Ohio, and surrounding areas, we need your help protecting our sister. She should not be out here in these streets by herself, dealing with white racism and these racist Democrats who don't want her to speak on an agenda that includes us. You have to understand, our representatives can't represent us exclusively, but we would like to be included at the same time, right, family? Absolutely. We should be included because we built this. Okay, I don't know what happened. I think I'm out of comments. And with that said, we are at 5 minutes over the time. I want to thank you so very much, family, for tuning in, for caring, even for those of you who are slinging misinformation. I thank you for being here because I hope that being here is going to help educate you on what this fight is really about, to the point where you pick up a brick and you bring all the people who are not clued in over here to the Friends of ADOS TV show to learn what you have learned today so they can pick up a brick and join this movement. Family, it's not a perfect movement, but guess what? We're on the move. ADOS, ADOS, ADOS. And with that said, I want you to make it a beautiful, God-inspired rest of your Saturday. And remember that the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, ADOS, God is, and so it is. Thank you, family, so much. Happy New Year to you, because when I see you next Saturday, we'll be in 2020, gearing up for the November elections. And you know ADOS is going hard in the paint. Peace, family. I love you.